Hello, this is Ethelred. After completing the main story in La Primavera di Firenze, I found the story to be quite straightforward. It begins immediately with Ezio having become an assassin and joining the guild. While still incorporating the Templar concept and their obsession with the Apple of Eden, in this collaboration, the main conflict isn't projected as the Templars' obsession with world domination. The Apple of Eden, here portrayed by a golden apple, is a tool used to unlock a secret chamber that supposedly contains treasure. This treasure is said to be worth enough to buy the entire city of Florence. This treasure is also said to be a relic of a heretical cult called the Compliners. In the story, this treasure is hidden inside the cathedral known as Il Duomo di Firenze. This rumor became so popular that many treasure hunters from outside Florence also came to try to solve the riddle. This is also why the Templars and the citizens of Florence are chasing the golden apple. Ezio in this story immediately mistook the golden apple for the Apple of Eden from the original game. So it's understandable that Ezio immediately wanted to help Vertin and his friends from the Templars and was willing to fight for Vertin without any clear reason. This is understandable, as the core of Assassin's Creed's struggle is to prevent the Templars from using the Apple of Eden. The story begins with Vertin, Apple, and X conducting an experiment at the Loch Laboratory using a device called the Huygens Fresnel Interferometer. This tool can send a person's memories or thoughts to another world. It's similar to the Animus technology from Abstergo. It lets them virtually project a person's consciousness into a different world and timeline. After the Huygens Fresnel Interferometer is activated, Apple suddenly wakes up in front of a Templar squad and Leonardo da Vinci. Here, Apple's color changes to gold, and he becomes known as the Golden Apple. Leonardo da Vinci, who is secretly friends with Ezio, is asked by the Templars to analyze the Golden Apple to uncover the secrets of a hidden treasure. In reality, Leonardo was kidnapped, taken all the way from Milan to Florence, to analyze Mr. Apple, who is believed to be the Apple of Eden. Meanwhile, Vertin meets a bookseller who explains that the Golden Apple is the key to unlocking a secret room filled with treasure. Vertin is kicked out because he doesn't have money to buy a manuscript containing a copy of a mural needed to uncover the treasures. Situation worsens until they are rescued by an assassin named Ezio Auditore. Apple's golden color is very noticeable, which causes them to be chased by the citizens. While waiting on a tall building, Ezio and Apple get to know each other. Ezio explains many things that Apple didn't know since waking up from the Fresnel Interferometer. He tells him about the Templars, Leonardo, and why Ezio became an assassin. Eventually, Apple and Ezio agree to form an alliance and work together. With one request from Apple, he asks Ezio to find Vertin, who got separated when they were summoned to Florence. As luck would have it, Apple and Ezio find Vertin being interrogated by the Templars on the street. This is the first time Ezio and Vertin meet. After they introduce themselves, Ezio invites Apple and Vertin to go to Leonardo's headquarters to uncover the treasure's secret. The scene then shifts to Leonardo's headquarters. Sotheby, who had already departed using X's Fresnel Interferometer before Vertin and Apple, was playing the part of the local regent's child. Sotheby whined to Leonardo to be included in the mission to uncover the secret treasure. This is where Vertin met Sotheby. In this part, Sotheby also showed off his fighting skills. Unlike the poor Vertin, the manuscript that the book merchant sold at the beginning of the story, the one who chased Vertin away, was bought by Sotheby. They then worked together to investigate the manuscript. They realized that the manuscript was an imitation. After some discussion and research, Leonardo figured out that the secret room was inside the cathedral's dome. The next day, they split into two teams to enter through different entrances. Ezio and Apple went into the secret tunnel, while Leonardo, Vertin, and Sotheby entered through the main door. Ezio and Apple had to fight off Templar forces before sneaking in and finding the secret tunnel inside the dome. Humanoid symbols on the tunnel walls led them to a mural. Here, Ezio discovered that the bird symbol in the mural was Paolo Uccello, a talented painter who was also a friend of Ezio's parents. Back to Leonardo's team. They entered the cathedral by asking for permission from Father Alberto. Leonardo also asked Father Alberto to clear the Il Duomo Cathedral of Templar guards to investigate the frescoes related to his secret mission. Inside the cathedral, Leonardo taught Vertin about linear perspective to solve the puzzle. However, Father Alberto, who was actually a close friend of Leonardo's, trapped them by releasing a gas that put them all to sleep. As it turns out, Father Alberto was one of the Templar high-ranking officials, something Leonardo had never known. Vertin, who had previously used a potion given by Sotheby, woke up first and hid Leonardo and Sotheby from the Templar forces that entered the cathedral. Vertin ended up in a chase with the Templar commander to the cathedral's roof and was cornered, helpless. Suddenly, Ezio arrived and defeated the Templar commander. Ezio also told Vertin to go after the Golden Apple, who was in front of the secret room's mural. Ezio created a distraction for the Templars to give Vertin a chance to escape. A little while later, after following the path Ezio had left, Vertin finally joined the Golden Apple in front of the mural to solve the puzzle. They exchanged ideas. Vertin provided clues from what he and Leonardo had learned from the cathedral's frescoes. The Golden Apple gave clues from what he and Ezio had learned from the murals in the secret room. Just as Vertin and the Golden Apple were about to solve the Paolo Uccello mural puzzle, Father Alberto and his troops suddenly arrived and ambushed them. Father Alberto threatened to kill Leonardo and Sotheby, who had been captured by the Templars, if Vertin refused to reveal how to solve the Paolo Uccello treasure puzzle. Vertin finally agreed. But once again, the main hero always shows up in the nick of time. Ezio came to help Vertin fight Father Alberto, who was in monster mode. As he lay dying, Father Alberto was confused as to how Ezio could defeat his entire Templar army all by himself. Ezio replied that he was not alone, that there were many other assassins out there ready to help Ezio fight the Templars. That's why they were an alliance. Ezio then stabbed Father Alberto in the heart with his hidden blade, and his most signature line appeared, "Requiescat in pace." Father Alberto was finally dead. A little later, Ezio received news that Leonardo and Sotheby had been safely secured with the help of the Assassin Alliance. Soon after, they managed to solve the puzzle and open the secret room, which only contained a letter and the addresses of the painters. One of them was Paolo Uccello's address. The legend of the treasure turns out to have never existed. The legend of this treasure is actually a sad story about painters from ancient times who didn't get paid for the group mural project they worked on. The project was unilaterally terminated, and the painters lost their livelihood. However, because Paolo Uccello and his friends were artists, they all agreed to finish the painting in an unusual way. They painted with a special paint that was only visible with the help of a specific light filter. The Golden Apple is the tool used to filter the light so that the paint, which was already painted on the wall as a mural, can be seen. A few weeks later, Vertin, Ezio, and Leonardo went to Paolo Uccello's house, following the address obtained from solving the puzzle. But they were surprised to find out that Paolo Uccello had long passed away, and they only met Antonia, Paolo Uccello's daughter. There's a lot of conversation here about Paolo Uccello's relationship with Ezio's family. This scene becomes sad because it reminds Ezio of his family's past, which was completely massacred by the Templars. Antonia then gives Ezio a painting of the Auditori family that Paolo Uccello had done for Ezio's family. This scene also becomes sad because it reminds Ezio of his family's past, which was completely massacred by the Templars. Well, that's the end of the story. Do you enjoy the story? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more game stories.